Greeting viewers, Apex Racing are proud to present round 3 action here, the 2015 Australian Grand Prix Series. We're here at the wonderful Suzuka track, a real driver's track and very much synonymous with the Formula Ones over the years. Proston Centre had many a famous battle here going to turns 1, turns 2. Normal commentator here, Scotty Connors, isn't here today. He's actually doing duties with Red Bull Racing at Sydney Park, Motorsports Park for the V8s there. With me instead, fellow Evolution Racing Australia driver Jake Blackall, coming 10th in this championship. Jake, welcome to the broadcast.
Thank you, Brenton, and welcome to all the viewers here today. Suzuka, great track. Hopefully we can see some good action today, and final round of the championship. So only 2 people at the moment who have a shot at the championship, Benefield and Carroll. So we'll see how they go today.
Yeah, looking forward to an interesting race here. We've got 28 laps in front of us. Track temperature it's fairly cool, 27 degrees, mostly cloudy, so expecting probably a bit of grip out there once the tyres get all warmed up, but it's been a very short series, just the 3 races. It really is, I think by the owner's own admission, or the organiser's own admission, it's really just putting the feelers out for bigger and better things for next year.
Yeah, the season was mainly just to get everyone involved and see, I think for Matthew Wilkins and them to try and get the feelers out, as you said, and get as much competition as possible, and certainly has had that over the season, especially with a couple of rounds that I was in for round 1 and 2. It was good competition, a lot of drama with everything going on, especially with safety cars getting brought out and whatnot. So hopefully this can lead to a very good season next year, and hopefully it can go to an even better league.
Yeah, sure it will. The safety cars would race 1 at Montreal and again race 2 at Brands Hatch had a significant part to play. Race 1, I think everyone would probably say that Ben Smith would have had the win there. However, the late safety car interaction got Daniel Benefield back into that race where Daniel took the win. And also at race 2, where Dean O'Brien had a really great win. I'm not sure if he's here tonight, I haven't seen him, I must admit. So 1 race, 1 win for Dean O'Brien. But I'll just get rid of that. Yeah, again, the series leader Daniel Benefield was actually over a lap behind, and the safety car certainly jumped in and helped him out there. So he's made the most of his opportunities. Looking at the points in this series, you'll see that Daniel Benefield has a very commanding lead in this series at the moment. He's on 190 points. He's just in front of, if we just stand by, he's just in front, well not just in front, he's well in front of Anthony Manzarella, who's not actually here today. So he's 90 points behind. Dean O'Brien, we just spoke about, he's also on 100 points for that 1 out of 1 win. And Marty Carroll for SDC Motorsports on 96 points. So really the only 2 drivers who have got any chance at all, and as remote as it is, almost impossible I would think, is Marty Carroll and Daniel Benefield. Well, let's face it, I would say that the championship's already in Benefield's pocket, because Manzarella's not here, O'Brien's not here, and McLeod's not here. And from what I understand, I think if Marty needs to win the race and Daniel can't finish any lower than 22nd, I think it was, then the championship would still be going to Benefield.
Yeah, that's all he needs is to win, finish 22nd or higher, which I think can be possible for Benefield. Just has to keep the nose clean, keep the car in the front top 10. That's all he needs to do, and the championship will be his, because technically he only needs 4 points no matter where Marty Carroll finishes. So yeah, it should be a good race. Also, Benefield is just got to stay out of trouble. He did have a bit of trouble last race at the end of Brands Hatch, which didn't help him. He could have had the win there, even though he came through the field at the last caution flag. But you never know. It's still a long race, 28 laps, so anything can happen.
Yeah, and there's going to be the expectation of a pit stop today. The race is being fuel restricted, so expecting pit stops probably anything between lap 12 and lap 16. I believe, I'm just trying to have a look there, what's their fuel's been limited to 70 kilos, I think it is, or
yeah,
71 kilos?
Yep. 60
kilos. So yeah, so the cars will be anything between lap 12 and lap 16.
Yeah, the 12 and 16 pit window. Get some tyres and fuel then. Hopefully get out. Hopefully there's no cautions. I reckon is really going to mess it up, because depending on when people want to come in and maybe put the fuel load in earlier, can help, but then the tyres will be wearing out towards the end of the race. So it's, especially with the cool conditions, there's going to be a lot more grip out on the track, a lot more pace, so the tyres can wear out quicker. So it's just going to depend on when these caution flags come, if there is any, depending on how the strategy will play out.
Yeah, and the Suzuka circuit, a wonderful circuit, very much a driver's favourite, and very much a track that is challenging for the drivers. Just like I said, it's a wonderful track. Probably, I used to live just outside there, so probably a good 3-4 hour train ride from Tokyo, just near the coast there, in between, just south of Nagoya is probably the best way to look at it if you know anything about Japan. Yeah. And a wonderful track, great circuit, great setup that they've got there, and very much a driver's favourite.
Yeah, like even myself, I love this track. It's a good, a lot of flowing parts, and also you got the hairpin and the back casino triangle that really changes it up. Plus you got 130R. Who doesn't love 130R? So it's just going to be a really, really good race. It's going to be different, but we'll see how it all goes.
Yeah, we have to acknowledge that. Number one, the Apex Racing UK with Alex Simpson and the boys there, proud sponsors of this event. So there is prize money up for the winning here. I think it's $100 of iRacing credits. Yep. I'm not sure whether Apex Racing have put that up or whether our generous hosts Matt Wilkins and Scotty Connors have done that. Also, before we go too much further, the hard work continues for Bernie Weemers here at Redback Racing. It's pretty easy for Jake and I just to step in the last minute and talk a bit of rubbish, but ultimately at the end of the day, Bernie Weemers is the guy in the background doing the camera work and doing the producing and telling me to shut up and things like that. So I'm sure Bernie's had a long day. He's had the Star Mazdas and the Skip Barbers earlier today. So this successful transition of it turns it into a race meet. We haven't done many of these, but I think it's just a great concept of having this, and it makes it feel just that much more real. And I know with the Enduros in the Premier Series with OSR, I think it might be starting next week at Spa.
Yes, next week.
They'll be doing the same thing. They'll be running the Star Mazdas, they'll be running the Roughs, and then going to the V8. So that's a concept started here, and it's been a fantastic idea.
I think it really adds to the week. Like, it adds to people. You'll be got to set up 3 cars for some drivers in all different series, and it makes it more interesting for also the viewers to be able to have a proper race meeting, sit down, watch qualifying, and then races of all different support categories, which actually adds a bit of excitement. And especially with the drivers who do triple, double duty, you can see how they perform in other cars as well as the main series cars.
Yeah, like I said, we've got 28 laps here. The setups are we're driving obviously the old Williams F131 FW31 now. She's an old beast, and I would imagine this will probably be the last time that we see this girl in action, with the McLaren being released probably in week 13. I'm not sure. There's still no confirmation from what I understand as to whether it's coming out now, but fairly realistic chance that this will be the last time we see this. And it's been a bit of a workhorse, but having the fixed setup supplied by Alex Simpson and all that, certainly, I think that it's enhanced this series that little bit more.
Yeah, the setups were. I can't thank AC enough, Alex Simpson, for all the help that he put in working with the setups and letting us use them as a fixed setup, because they are one of the ones he runs, some of the ones he runs. So it's good. It's a good series. Car, yes, will be disappearing. Maybe the last time we'll ever see the Williams. And McLaren, yeah, coming out early next year, I think. I think it's season 2 next season. I don't think it's actually going to be here for season 1 of 2016 from what I've heard. So it all depends. Like iRacing, with all their stuff that they bring out, they make sure it's to perfection. So it'll be a great car to drive, and can't wait to have it on the track.
Yeah, it will, and obviously you know more about it. Also, there's we haven't heard any whispers about what's going to be this series is going towards next year. Whether they're going to be going towards a longer season, I'd imagine they probably will, and whether they're going to be using the whole year or whether they're going to be going season by season. But that's, like I said, this really has been a test series, and that's how it should be looked at. Yeah, there's a prize at the end of it, but let's face it, it's 3-race season, so it's more for the organisers to get their feet in the water and test the temperature, and and get a bit of experience behind them, learn from mistakes that they've made, learn from things that they've also done well, and hopefully, like we said, this series will go on stronger next season.
Yeah, especially if it's over a longer format, I reckon it's going to be a actually close fought season. There's a lot of top drivers in this series that could potentially battle for the championship at the end of the day. It's just the 3 round, yeah, shot, yes, there's a prize, but that it's like you said, it's just for the organisers to make sure they can have it running smoothly. So as soon as they step into next year, it's just going to come out and it's going to hit. I think it's going to hit everyone with a bang, and then it's going to go off. So we'll see how it goes, and hopefully the last race can really put a stand still for them and make sure that they have everything sorted, so it's all good for next season.
And we've also already had qualifying that was completed yesterday. The 3-tier program, just like they do in the Formula Ones, which are where are they racing this weekend?
Spa,
of course. Hello, yep. That's right. I think Ricardo's got himself up in the 5th there on the grid.
Six on the grid for tonight's race.
Grosjean, who came 4th, has got a penalty for a gearbox change, so Benefit goes up to 5th, but hello, Ricardo. The reason I say Benefit is because I'm looking at the grid for this race, and in pole position will be Daniel Benefield for the Apex Racing Academy with a 1:29.070. Anthony Kernich. This is the first he's raced in this series as well, so...
Don't know whether he ran at Brands, I can't remember.
No, I can't remember.
Yeah.
Don't remember. We'll have to have a look at that as 3/10 of a second down there between Benefield and Kernich. So Aaron Lee in 3rd place for Redback Racing at 29.9. So the times start to stretch out a bit here. Steve Jansen at 30.2. Josh Anderson, who just had a fantastic 2nd place in the Star Mazda. Really close finish there. With Josh Rogers, I believe, wasn't it?
Yep.
I think it was about 2 thousandths of a second or something ridiculous in the end there. Which was a great finish. AJ Bear, who's done quite a bit of racing and showed some pace on occasion too. In 6th place with a 6.43. Sean Evans for KRF Motorsport. But I'm thinking it might be his first race, the 30.658. Brett Wilson for Redback Racing as well, Aaron Lee's teammate, 9.37. Dave Pegler, 31.3. So we're already talking 2.3 seconds off of the pole here. Andrew Gaines, Marty Carroll, the only other guy who's had a chance to win this series with 31.6. Brett Hender, Scotty Goodman, Sean Watson, Damien Smith will round out the top 15. Hopefully all of those guys are here racing. Hopefully they'll be able to have a close race. The midfield pack there from Pegler through to Scotty Goodman looks very close.
Yeah, as the cars start grid up now, as we head to the grid, 22 starters for today's race. As the grid starts to form up now.
There's some decent looking skins here, isn't there? Oh, and yourself, obviously, with Knight Rider Designs, does a fantastic job with making the skins. But yeah, just as the grid forms up, Benefield here taking his position on pole position. No one has slipped into 2nd yet.
Yeah, no Anthony Kernich in 2nd at the moment.
Is he even here though? No, he's here, so he just hasn't.
There he is, yeah.
There he is, so running the old Phillips livery. So yeah, what are we at? Pretty full field. Benefield on the pole, revs are building. It's always a nervous time here on the grid. It's an unusual skin there for Steve Jansen, but revs are building for what is last round, round 3 of the Australian Formula 1 Championship. Away they go.
Oh, car stalled on the grid. That was Marty Carroll.
Marty Carroll stalled.
Another one.
It's not a clean start at all. We've got massive damage back here. I would imagine that safety car is going to be coming out straight away.
Wilson's on his lid. Sean Watts is in the fence.
Is on his lid. Wilson. So this is not the greatest start in the world. Wilson from 8th on the grid, and yeah, that's not what we're after at the start. I would imagine that Marty Carroll has just forgot to put that in gear. Sean Watts from 14th on the grid should get it around. Be worth having a look at there if we can get a look at Marty Carroll's car. Just got to find Marty. Where are you, Martin? Yeah, the car 01's got himself away now. Just go back to the actual grid. So I'm just having a look at Marty Carroll's car here, and he has not moved. Yeah, and he's going to have some damage there as well. So yeah, some dramas there, and there's actually quite a few cars that have also been hit. So I'd imagine here on the opening lap behind the safety car, you're going to have some cars pitting. And what they do get a free tow, I'm pretty sure. They get just a one fast repair. So
Yeah.
yeah, if Daniel Benefield had what he believed to be a challenge at all with 22 cars on the grid, he had, well, actually, championship over, he could finish 22nd, I think.
Yeah.
But whatever was easy now is just become, but it's just a walk up for him now, really.
Yeah, I'm just having a look at the second part of the start. Brett Wilson actually got the car off the line. It was his second initial start that he spun the wheels and hit the inside fence, and then Sean Watts had nowhere to go. A couple of other cars got some damage as well.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. So Watts is in the pits, we saw that. Agostoni is also in the pits. So the cars will soon be under the control of the safety car, as it does. The safety car is going through turn 1 now. So that will give the chance for the field to hopefully settle down a little bit, and all those cars who have got some damage, albeit minor on occasion if needed, can duck into the pits and not have a penalty. So and we saw that at Montreal, we saw that at Brands, where it can work for you, there's no doubt about that, or it can work against you. So we saw that it worked against Ben Smith, we talked about that earlier in race 1, and we saw that it worked for Daniel Benefield in race 2. So yeah, it works both ways.
Yeah, this could also play in a little bit of strategy here. Could save some fuel, maybe not have to put as much fuel in the car later on, or even save the tyres. So for Benefield and them, it could also play into a major factor later on in the race, depending on how the safety cars fall.
Yeah, and also your ERA car here, the one you did the skin for, it looks like James Keane also got involved pretty heavily there. So he's at the back of the field. Not sure, did he have a tow or not? I didn't actually see that. I'll actually go back and have a look. So James starting from the back of the grid. He's hasn't done many laps at all this week, but yeah, certainly. Yeah, what's he done there? He's certainly had some issues there for James Keane.
Yeah.
And I think Scotty Goodman's had some issues too, unfortunately for him. And yeah, that's I think Marty's little trip up there, and Marty's. He's a decent enough driver, he's a very successful driver in the V8s, and there'd be no malice there at all. He just missed a start, and I think we've all been there, done that on occasion.
Yeah, I've done that numerous times, and especially even up front of the V8 field when you stall, and it's never nice, but he will be alright. He can just get going again. Hopefully the car doesn't have as much damage. Hopefully he got it fixed and he can come back out and try and battle for Benefield up the front.
Yeah, it'd be good to see nice close races. Where are the cars? Now they're just going through the last part of the S's here, so it's a long lap. Oh no, coming up. Sorry, I've come to the hairpin here. Sorry, yeah. It's just such a long lap as it is anyway. So behind the safety car, it might just be the one lap behind the safety car, and just trying to get on board to see if the lights are out. I think the lights just went out then. Yeah. Or are they on?
No, they're on. Still on.
Yeah, no, they're still on, so they might be going for another lap yet, don't know.
But we still have a time set finished, so depending on how 28 laps around here, you should be able to get it done in 55 minutes, but with a couple of safety cars, we could also be going time certain.
Yeah, well that's right, and that's another thing that comes into play, and also, as you mentioned, with the fuel saving right now, what you can probably gain from that, but yeah, I'm just thinking if tyre wear is much of an issue here. 28 lap race, I don't think tyre wear will be a big issue here. Like the F1 cars can certainly comfortably handle a 28 lap stint here on one set of tyres, but with the mandatory pit stop in place, knowing that they're not going to make it on fuel, well, you might as well put some new rubber on.
Yeah, that'd be the best bet. Put some fresh tyres on it, get out and work your way back through the field. Be able to get some extra spots, then later on you won't have to put fresher tyres on because you already have them.
Yeah, so I'm not sure there's going to be any penalties or any drive-throughs from that incident. Certainly more of a racing incident. It's a start line incident, I guess.
Yeah.
It's not that uncommon really, is it? I know if any of Madison Down or any of the TTR boys are watching it all, well, yeah.
We know about that one.
We all know what Madison did once. I think it was at Virginia.
Yeah, Virginia International Raceway, right up front, and didn't get off the line, and yeah, it didn't end well for Madison.
No, and well, actually, it didn't end well for Madison, but it didn't end well for a lot of cars behind as well. They're totally innocent, but that was a big mess. But yeah, so as the cars come up here now, is it Casino what is it? The Casino
Triangle, yeah.
Casio Triangle, but there's a bit of a difference of opinion there in some place, but we'll call it Casino Triangle for now.
I'm just getting confirmation from race control that pit straight incidents will be looked at more in depth after the race. So at the moment it looked like racing incidents, but still will be looked at after the race and see what comes of it.
Yeah, well, it's got to be looked at, but certainly, wow, it's certainly a crawl here, isn't it? That safety car's doing 64 kilometres an hour.
Yeah,
Get
lights are out
boys.
though. Lights are out, so we'll be going green this time by, which will be good, but it's still a long way to go around the track, another 5 minutes. Looking at the lap time from Benefield, so that's a long
looking
time.
at the lap time there, and who's got the fastest lap of the race so far? What have we got? Josh Anderson with a 4:54. Sean Evans a 4:53, if you don't mind.
Keane's done a 3 minutes 54.
Oh, so James Keane with the fastest lap of the race so far is a minute faster than the rest of the field. You won't hear that very often.
Yeah, we'll just hopefully they can get going and we can get another couple of green flag runs, because at this rate, if they actually get another caution soon up, we won't have many laps to go, so maybe even no tyres will be the way to go, because at the moment they've already done 8 minutes and that's like 40 odd minutes left to go. It's not long. I don't think we'll be getting 28 laps done today.
No, I wouldn't think so, and also there might also be another chance for safety car. I think this occasion that the safety car was thrown on the right occasion or at the right time, I've got no doubt about that. There's been probably other times in the series where it could be questioned whether there was too much overuse of the safety car or maybe even not enough use of the safety car. And again, this is something that the organisers will be able to look at. It's something they will learn at, and like we keep saying, I don't want to call it a Mickey Mouse series because it's not, because the organisers do a good job, but it is really just a 3-race sprint just to see what's going on, and we keep reiterating that the real championship really starts next year or next season, whether we're going to do it then.
Yeah, so it is just make sure everything's running right. And from a driver's point of view, driving the first 2 races, some of the cautions were needed, especially at Montreal and a couple at Brands Hatch, where there's cars just all over the shop and you can't get through. You got to have those cautions come out. Sometimes they're not, but as a driver, I think the series is really good, and it'll only grow to bigger and better things. So as the cars are coming around Degner Curve, should be going green next time.
Yeah, they'll be going green next time. Sorry, mate. Actually, just had some background noise there. Got the kids up and about at the moment, as you can probably hear on occasion.
So hopefully we can get a good start here. Get a couple of green flag runs, see how the field actually sorts himself out. It'll be good to see where everyone is, because a little bit of passing of also as the start was gone, there's a couple of people were backing off and letting people through, so always be good to see when the first green flag laps are run, depending on how people's pace are in this weather.
Well, I'll tell you what, what are we expecting, 28 lap race? Well, I don't know if it's going to be 28 laps anymore. If you're at the back and what are we on the second full lap of the safety car here, just wondering whether it would have been a good time to just get that chance to put some rubber on if you're at the back, and just top up as well, so you get that extra, let's face it, they're not burning too much fuel right now, so certainly they get an extra lap and a half of fuel. And if there's another green, another yellow, well, maybe they won't need to stop at all, because these laps are extremely long.
Yeah, personally, if I was down the back, I would have chucked 4 brand new tyres on it. Like the start, it's nothing, but it's always better just to have those extra couple of laps of fresher tyres. You don't know what people were doing, whether they were braking harder and locking up the tyres to avoid an incident, which flat spots the tyres, and that will not help during the longer runs. So I would have done it, put a bit more fuel in it, make sure you can get it home, and hopefully safety cars can foil your way and strategy will work out.
Yeah, well, the other thing is that we're talking 5.5 minute safety cars. It's not real quick in comparison with we're probably expecting lap times to be about 1 minute 31. So
yeah,
the more that we look at it, the more we're probably thinking it will be time finished here.
Yeah, I think time certain's where it's going to be heading. We've already done 12 minutes and we're still only done 3 laps, so a little bit of a question mark on when we'll get the full distance done, but I'd say definitely time certain.
So the Apex Racing Academy car, Daniel Benefield, the car 034, is just going through the 30R now. The lights are out in the safety car, so we're not far away from a restart here.
Yeah, as the field heads around 130R, coming through Casino Triangle, we'll figure that one out. As they come down here, Benefield's actually sticking with the pace car, which I'm surprised by, unless that has changed in the regulations that he has to stick with the pace car, but he's not leaving a bit of a gap.
No, but he should be fairly confident with Anthony Kernich. Like, Kernich does mostly a lot of oval racing, but you're right, he's extremely close to the safety car here, so he's just going to lead them out here, but really there's not going to be a lot of shock value of what he's going to be doing here. He's going to be getting on it hard, and you know, maybe with Kernich also can get in his draft, you never know what could happen in turn 1. But certainly backing him up.
Yeah, waiting for the green still waiting. I'd say we're waiting for the green. A couple of cars out of place. Green flag's out.
Risky, some of them.
And off they
go.
go.
So away they go. Kernich has had a fair bit of wheel spin, but so has Daniel Benefield. But trying to see if there's going to be any damage here to turn 1. His cars look pretty clean. Certainly up at the front doesn't seem to be any instances. Daniel Benefield leaves the field away.
Yeah, good clean restart there. No one around as we come up through the S-curves. Very clean start. Oh, that's Steve Jansen's around in front of the pack. He's alright, he's got it going. Just going to try and rejoin safely as he does, but he lost a lot of ground behind. Now he's behind Marty Carroll.
So just having a look, so Jack Baker has some black flags cleared. Just having a look here, Sean Evans here has just run wide under the second release of the second Degner there, and that's going to put him under some pressure with Dave Pegler, who's driven pretty well on occasion in this series. I think he's one of the few who've actually raced every race. I know Benefield's raced every race. I don't know if anyone else in the top 5 has it all. But I know Marty Carroll has, I think. So Marty and Dan, the two, certainly have raced every race. But Dave Pegler, I think, has raced every race as well, and he's done a pretty good job.
Yeah, he's running well in the... I think he gained a couple of spots on the restarts. I'd say maybe about 7th position he is at the moment. But up front, Benefield's just left the field and he's gone. So we'll have to see what happens there. Kernich has lost a lot of ground to him on that opening flying lap, as well as Aaron C. Lee. He's dropped a bit behind Kernich.
Yeah, Benefield drives these cars all the time, though, and Kernich really does a lot of overwork, I understand. So, but back in the pack here, we've got a great little battle here starting already. From 8th position, Andrew Gaines, James Keane, Marty Carroll and Steve Jansen in the, I'm not sure what we'll call that car. It's certainly Grandma's Curtains. It's an unusual paint, probably took an age to paint. Probably
we'll call it the Williams Art car.
The Williams Art car, or the paintball car.
Either way, he's all over Marty Carroll at the moment after his spin, so he's got the pace to be up front, which is just now he's got to get his head back in the game, get the rhythm back and work his way back up to the field.
Well, we saw at Brands Hatch, just with so many accidents there that Dean O'Brien took that win, and it was a great win, but he'd probably be the first to say he wasn't the quickest out there, but on the day, certainly the smoothest, certainly the cleanest, and got the reward. And you'll see that here as well. You've got someone like Martin Houston at the moment, who's up into 9th position, which is probably boxing a little bit above his weight considering he gridded up on 20th. So he's doing a fantastic job there in the top 10. Andrew Gaines is just behind him. So, and you've got James Keane who started at the back of the grid. I don't know whether Keane put a qualifying lap in, but these guys here racing really hard. Marty Carroll, I'm assuming he came in for a pit to get that rear wing damage fixed from that start line. So it just seems to be down on pace at the moment.
Yeah, he hasn't really made much in-ground to the cars in front, which I thought he would have been able to do, but maybe there's not a lot of passing opportunities around this track, so we'll just have to see how he gets going, which he's just taken a dive on James Keane. Keane gives him room and he gets it done at the Casino Triangle. Yeah,
good driving by both there. Marty needs to be in a bit of a hurry here. He's to put any sort of pressure on the championship leader, or let's face it, you'd say championship winner, but again, these guys here with the fixed setup, they don't drive the F1s very often. We know Marty Carroll pretty much exclusively drives the the V8, so he takes his F1 out for a Sunday drive every now and then. Keeney does a lot of Star Mazda and Skip Barber work. Andrew Gaines probably does a lot of rough work. I think he does it in rough these days in the SEK, I'm not sure. AJ Bear's an interesting one. Again, a driver who's shown some good pace on occasion in this series, but I think he's also driven every race in the series too, so I think he does quite a bit of F1s.
Yeah, he's done a lot of F1s. And field's very spread out at the moment, which I'm actually surprised, as I thought there would have been a bit more of a closer battles going on. Really, the only battle at the moment from about 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, they're the main close battle pack at the moment. But everyone's just spread out and finding their feet and seeing how the cars are going to handle.
Yeah, no, we've got a little bit of a battle here, 14th and 15th. Adam Utri there with Steve Downs and Sean Watts is out of position there in the sister car there, the old Williams livery there. I've always liked that livery. Who's that? Damien Smith.
Damien Smith.
Very wide there. And he's
Big Nolly went off behind him as well, so they both obviously missed the braking marker and just went off a little bit, but they both rejoined and kept going.
Yeah, so just some dramas there, but certainly they'll be able to recover there. But up at the front in the meantime, 2.8 seconds the last time across the strike. That's at the completion of lap 6 onto lap 7 now. So 2.8 seconds. Koenigs not doing that.
Oh, we got a car. Pegler's in the wall. He rolled. I just caught the end of that. So
Yep.
Pegler from 6, now stuck off the side of the road, obviously waiting to get the escape rule if he can. This could bring out a safety car. You're using a bit of a bad spot on the track.
Yeah, could bring out a safety car there. I'm not sure whether he can get moving or not. So just on the exit there of turn 1, just before the entrance. Oh, holy heck! I'm not sure if you had a chance to have a look at their replay, but hell of a lot of pirouettes there. So poor old Dave's head's going to be rattled a bit there. But yep, safety car
is out
again. So well, you'd certainly want to pit now, wouldn't you? There'd be no point staying out at all. Right now, you're knowing for a fact it's not 28 lap race. So get some tyres, fill it up with juice, and bring it home from here. But this is where tactics come to play, whether they're going to do that or not. I must have probably surprised the safety cars come out there.
Yeah.
But Benefield. Let's have a look at his lap times there. 31. Well, during race time, really had the 2 flying laps, 31.4 and a 30.9, and Mr. Koenigs behind him at 31.7, 31.5. So, yeah, fairly comparable, I guess. But it was out to 2.8 seconds. But all the hard work that's been done by the leaders has now been washed away. And Aaron Lee, we spoke much of him at all in third place there, and started third on the grid as well with a pretty good lap time in his qualifying, but probably just smidgen off of the race pace. 31.6 is his fastest, but the field tightens up again, and for the next probably 10 minutes we'll have the safety car.
I think it's I don't think you'd need to pit now. If I was in Benefield's spot, I'd actually, like, depending on fuel, I'd stay out. I don't think, if he's saying that the pit window was between like 12 and 16, I really don't believe that you'd need to pit. Yeah, especially if, because I think we'll be like 20 minutes in, you know, we'll lose a lot of fuel. Like, you can save a lot of fuel out of the caution, especially with the time, the 5 minutes a lap under caution. I don't know, if I was down the back I'd do it. Up front, I might stay out.
Well, you've got the ability here to adjust the fuel mapping as well, and no doubt the boys are doing anything short but just turning their fuel off almost, just running it very, very low with the fuel mapping, and any chance they can just save a bit of fuel just to make sure they get the finish. But, you know, what are we at? 22 cars in the field already, 20 of them, sorry, 19 of them, actually with Pegler gone, so 18 of them will remain on the lead lap. So, tell you what, anything from 10th position down or even further, you'd certainly consider pitting.
Yeah, if I was in Muddy Carroll's position, I'd sort of pit from him on down. Carroll, Gaines, Keane, Jansen, so forth. I'd pit, bring it in, get some 4 tyres and fuel, and then go back out, and you won't lose much time, especially under the caution. So, but if I was up front, yeah, stay out.
And yourself, mate, a couple of steady races in rounds 1 or 2, round 1 and 2. You had a few dramas. Why are you not racing today? Just haven't had a chance to practice?
Hadn't had the chance to practice, plus put in a qualifying time I would have liked to have raced, and just didn't have the time to do quali. I knew I couldn't do quali yesterday, so even if I was to race, I would have started at the back because I was at the V8s yesterday. So yeah, that would have been a bit of a struggle, but yeah, I just didn't have the practice under my belt. I've been practicing for BSRTC, which is a league that's run in the mornings, European time. So that's a strong league over there in the Kia Optima, or Kia Optima, the Kia. Front-wheel drive Kia, and that thing is just a blast to drive. So I haven't had much time to actually practice many other cars. So would have liked to have raced, but that's the way it goes. Can't always practice for 10 cars at once.
And talking about the hairdresser car, the Kias, you've created a bit of history. One of one that series is actually broadcast on Motors TV over in Europe, and yeah, I think you're the only non-European in the field. Is that right?
There's a couple of other, yeah, I could say non-European because technically they are. We got Ray Alfala as well from the States. He sometimes pops his face in, has a low and races, but yeah, it's sort of the only Aussie to be in the field, and it's good to mix it up with the Europeans because they're the ones that are driving that front-wheel drive touring car all the time, so it's good to be up there with them.
And had recent success as well with your team, so congratulations on that. And again, it's something that talking about with Bernie before, doing a great job broadcasting this, and these are long days for Bernie, so hopefully people will appreciate that. But broadcasting is becoming bigger and bigger, and more important as well to get sponsors on board. Yeah,
and I think the BSRTC is sort of showing that. Like even for iRacing, it's a big thing to get broadcast on an actual TV channel. So it's. Hopefully this can lead to big things for even the Australian market. Maybe the Premier Series, you never know. The Premier Series could end up on Fox Sports or some channel like that later on down the track. But it's a good stepping stone, especially for broadcasters like Bernie himself, to maybe even get into the broadcasting world as like for television. So it's a good stepping stone.
Lots of the safety car are still on here as we come into the final chicane. So what are we up to here? We're on lap number 8, yeah, so end of lap 8, so just yeah, it's very processional, isn't it? Actually, Koenig has pitted, and also has got a bit of company as well. I think that's who is that, Anderson, I believe it might be.
Yep.
So yeah, the tactics have started here, and I think this is a good move. I really think this is a good move.
I'll go the opposite with you there, Brenton. I don't think this will actually be a good move. I think down the back's where you don't want to be, especially with the pace they've got. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, but long term, short term pain, long term gain. In case they do need to pit, like we said though, like with Koenig and Anderson, they don't seem to do a lot of F1 driving, so they might not have the ability to fuel save as well as others who do drive these cars all the time, like Mr. Benefield. They do drive. He does drive this wholly and solely. Yeah. So that is a massive advantage to him.
Yeah, it's sort of going to help him figure out what he needs to do. He's most surely been in this position multiple times in this car, so he can understand where he's going to be. I know Stephen Downs also pitted as well from 15th on the track, so that would be where I'd be pitting from, 15th around there, and come in and get some 4 fresh ones and go back out. So we'll see what happens.
Actually, just shows you how slow the safety car goes when both Koenig and Anderson had their pit stop whilst under the control of the safety car. They had their pit stop filled up, tyres, still came out, and they're still just outside of the top 10. So they haven't gone to the back of the field at all.
Yeah, it's actually, now looking at it, that may help them, depending. They did have a couple of good, so the green part of the tyre is gone after those first couple of green laps, so maybe this may help them. We'll have to see, but yeah, it's funny how they've come out in like 13th and 15th, I think they will come out, so yeah, interesting that.
So Spa Grand Prix tonight, Lewis Hamilton as usual on pole. I think it's his 10th pole position for the season. Very dominant, and I was reading somewhere today where putting in perspective Lewis Hamilton's wage compared to Messi's wage, and as good as football player Messi is, Hamilton just puts him in the dark when it comes to his salary. So
yeah,
some big money in the F1s, there's no doubt about that. So yeah, he's in the best car. I'm not sure he's the best driver, but certainly out-qualified his teammate again. And that championship, Ricciardo had such a great chance to win last race at Hungary, and hopefully, for all those Red Bull fans and Daniel Ricciardo fans out there, hopefully he gets a chance to repeat his efforts of last season, but it seems like a stretch.
Yeah, it seems like a stretch, but you never know. Spa, hey, rain could happen at Spa, that even in the summertime it could happen. But as we look up front, the lights are out in the safety car, so we will be going around and coming to the green flag, even though we've just come out of the hairpin, so still half the lap to go, but we'll see the green flag this time.
Well, that gives us a bit of time to talk about Bernie's next commitment tonight for Redback Racing TV. And like you said, such a long day with the Skip Barbers, Star Mazdas, this, and then starting 6:45 Eastern tonight. You've got the SEK Queensland GT Series. Not sure how that's been going this season, but that's a week in, week out event in the GT3. So Bernard has a long day on these days, and hopefully people will fully appreciate the work that he puts into this. And it doesn't get a lot of lap times done there, Bernie. I know you're listening to me right now, but it'd be great to see you back in the car on occasion too. So yeah, 6:45 Eastern tonight, the SEK Queensland GT3s are on.
Yeah, it's a very good series. It's good to see Bernie. Hopefully we can see Bernie get in the car. It's been a while, I think, for Bernie to turn some laps, so hopefully in the near future we can see him in the cars and running back out on track.
So safety cars, lights are out, as we said. Daniel Benefield is leading the procession down here as they come into under the Dunlop Bridge. So coming up to 130R. Hopefully, be interesting to see how he goes with this restart. Whether he backs the field right up. Not sure he would. You don't want to play the predictable game. And Aaron Lee there in the Redback Racing car, and Bernie be getting all excited about having one of his boys up there in second place at the moment. I don't think he's going to want to play the same tactics twice, because they'll be all over that. And Sean Evans for Kimmy's Rural Fencing in the KRF team up into third position from 7th on the grid. This boy's got a bit of ability. He'll trip over every now and then, but you expect that from the young guys, and if you're a race manager you'd accept the mistakes and move on. But every week he seems to be improving in the V8s, and it's good to see him trying his hand in the F1s as well.
Yeah, forever improving, which is good to see, and this car as well can bring a lot of improvement. As it's noticed, a lot of drivers have started to improve, but as we come through the Casino Triangle heading onto the straight, the pace car will peel off. Let's see what Benefield does. Still holding him up. Field's getting checked up now, still waiting for the green, unless they're waiting for the green again for Benefield, but that would put Aaron C. Lee in a good position.
So yeah, the field's banking up here. James Keenap had a jet of a restart last time. So the green flag's out. And Aaron Lee's got a good start. Also, Sean Evans is going to be sticking his nose up here. Sean Evans with a great restart, gets himself up in the second place. Fantastic job right there. And Marty Carroll is in 4th place. No, Carroll's gone off. He's ruined all of that good work getting through the field. Carroll on the exit of turn 1 there. On another exit, there's going to be another safety car.
Wilson and Vignoli in the fence. Hopefully they can get back going. Another car off the track as well. Scott Goodman.
Bit of a mess. Scotty Goodman's had a bit of a...
Sean Evans is off. Missed that one. Sean Evans has lost the great restart he had.
Wow. Yeah, he'll be disappointed with that. Probably might have been overdriving.
Another one as well around Marty Carroll.
Kernich has been involved. Yeah, you'd probably think now would be a good time for a safety car.
Another one. Keen's around as well as they're involved in another incident with the hairpin. Yeah, we need a safety car.
Got a restart in front of the field. Whoa. Yeah, gee whiz, there's cars everywhere at the moment, and actually massively surprised there hasn't been a safety car.
Yeah, everyone's got back going. There's a car. Martin Houston is crabbing massively and just coming up to the hairpin now from 6, so there's a lot of carnage just happened back there.
So yeah, that mistake by Evans has really stretched it for Benefield again. Aaron Lee up to 2nd. Brett Hender, he'll be wrapped with this 3rd place at the moment from 12th on the grid, if you don't mind. Josh Anderson, Andrew Gaines, who's made a promotion, Steve Jansen Baker, Carroll in 7th place. So obviously it wasn't him that spun before. Kermit has made an improvement here, so this is where we're at the moment. Just want to see as Kernich goes across the strike here. 13.7 seconds down on Benefit. That's quite a stretch already. As to whether they're going to need. If Benefit needs to pit, he'll probably need a good 26 seconds, I think it was. No, it wouldn't be that. 23 seconds, I think it is. So we're going to need to stretch that out a little bit more, but we're only on the first flying lap.
Well, no, Benefield better be careful. There's a couple of two cars, Vignoli and Houston, that are trundling around. Houston's at 130R, and Vignoli's just coming onto the back straight now. So you might catch him before the end of the lap, especially into Casino Triangle, which could be a bit of a nuisance for Benefield. But hopefully he's aware of that and he can make his way through.
So we were in lap 11. Really had to have me flying laps out. 1, 2, 3. This is our fifth flying lap out of 11 so far. So probably a bit of a times for these guys. Oh, there's another car. Oh, that's the guy you're talking about.
Yeah, Vignoli.
He's just pulled over. Vignoli. Yeah, good driving there. Sensible driving, getting out of the way of the field. There is a stream through. So as they come into the Casino Triangle from 130R. The yellow flags, no doubt, out, and Vignoli's done a pretty good job there in getting out the way. Hopefully, they have a bit of patience here as a few more cars stream through. Sure, he's going to. Having a look at the time gap here with Marty Carroll and Kernich from 13.7 to 15.4, so he's dropped 1.7 seconds that lap alone.
Yeah, just that little bit of restart incident sort of didn't help Kern. She was involved in one of them, so pulled him back a bit, which hopefully he can try and get some more ground, but at this rate it's just a long way to go. He's still got a big battle pack in front of him that he's got to go around with Carroll and Jansen and Baker, so we'll see how he goes.
Well, Vignoli's car died and he was given that quick toe there, so he's certainly out of the race now. I would think that's going to be, and also James Keane is back in the pits now as well. Saw an earlier incident with him, and again he's had absolutely zero practice with this car this week, and it's a car you've really got to keep at. And Kenny, like we said before, runs a lot of skip barbers, and the Star Master is actually doing very well in the V8s as well. But I think it's just a complete lack of car time, and Keeney might have just parked it because that car doesn't look too damaged, but it doesn't look too interested.
Yeah, well, sorry to interrupt. We've got a battle for third with Hender and Anderson, who's made a good start with 130R and gets the job done. Runs a bit wide on the exit, but don't know whether the stewards will look into that with everything going on at Spa with using the track limits. But Anderson now up to third on fresh tyres, so yeah, see what happens there.
Yeah, so a position change here for Josh Anderson. Like I said, just got pipped in the Star Mazda race earlier, so he's certainly already done a lot of laps around here, so he knows the track like the back of his hand. 15 seconds off of the lead of Daniel Benefit, a 35 flat last lap. Certainly, oh wow, that's 5 seconds off of the pace at the moment. But he's moved up a position. He's got clean track. He's got new tyres. It's still a long way to go. Never know. Mr. Benefield might have to contemplate, thinking about his fuel strategy, turning his mixture down, dropping off the pace. At the moment, it's extremely one-way traffic. We've also got another car off here. Agostoni again has come off here. That's at the start of the S's there. I reckon that would be into turns 3 and 4. So on the exit of 4, and he's been allowed an escape as well. So I think the marshals here have had an absolute enough of pulling the pin on the safety.
Yeah. Well, Keane has also just retired the car, so Keane is out of the race, so that's unfortunate for him. But we've got a battle. I did just have a battle going on up front in fourth and fifth between Baker and Hegler. I think Hender, sorry.
Hender, yeah.
Baker has gone around Hender, so that's another position gain for Baker, and Hender's starting to drop through the field, which hopefully it's not tyre wear issue, or I don't think a lot of the cars that are passing the pit just could be pace, so.
Yeah, well, just with the safety cars, it really does stir them up, doesn't it? With you look at Brett Hender, who qualified 12th, but Jack Baker had qualified 19th, up into 4th now, so great job of him. Jack Baker certainly, he's been around a lot of late. I know he competes in the V8 supercars directly. on Monday nights, and also I think at the last race at Brands Hatch here in the series, he and Marty Carroll were having a real ding dong throughout the race. I think he was probably holding Marty up a little bit, but drove a solid race, got a good result. So he kept it clean. That's what it's all about, and I can guarantee you there'll be quite a few other drivers who right at this moment are thinking and hoping they did the same thing.
Yeah, at the moment there's not a lot of battle packs going on as well, but Koenig is starting to close in on Marty Carroll, just coming around the hairpin. That's for 7th and 8th at the moment. They've got Steve Jansen in front of them, so wonder how that's going to help, especially with Hender coming back to them. They could start up a massive battle pack here.
Yeah, well, taking away, there's a spinner in front of them too.
Yep, that's
Who
Hender.
is that? Yep, so
Hender's
yep. So his little bits to go yet, so he gets it back going. Doesn't look like there's any damage there to the car. Yeah, Marty Carroll, I don't think he's thinking championship right now. I think, let's face it, it's gone, it's done, it's done, hooray. However, he's got to be thinking overall in the championship, and right now, he certainly is in the prime position to get second in the title.
Yeah, he just needs to keep his nose clean, keep out of the trouble that's been going on, even though there was a little bit of trouble at the start, but he's still going and just got to hold off Koenig at the moment. But he's up to 6 since Hender with the spin, so he's 27 seconds off the lead, so he's a long way off that, so we'll see how he goes. Got Koenig now starting to close in as they close in with Steve Jansen in front of them.
Yeah, that's certainly an unusual looking car there on Steve.
Williams art car, it's the BMW equivalent.
Oh, okay, so it's the real thing.
Well, no, I'd never seen it before, but that's what we're going to call it. It's the Williams art car, as Carroll is all over the back of Jansen at the moment, coming through the Degner curves.
Well, we just ride on board with Marty Carroll in the STC Motorsports Williams FW31. We're just going through the hairpin now, and we can see Steve Jansen in front of us. And right behind us we've got Anthony Koenig, so just jumping on board with Anthony Koenig now. And just through this part of the section here, going through up to Spoon, so we're in turn 13, into Spoon here, exit at turn 14. So important to get this exit right. And this long straight here, get that chance to get in the draft. But the overtaking here at 130R, it's not that easy. Not heavy braking until you get to that last chicane.
No, you've got to be very brave if you want to try and put a move on at 1DR, especially coming in as Carroll is looking, and I think he's going to do it down into Casino Triangle, and he's done that. So Carroll up into 5th. Jansen's having another look. He may get the run onto the front straight. May have a look down into the first turns. There's this pull back in behind on the front straight, but that's another position for Marty Carroll.
Yeah, these guys here are now 52 seconds behind now for Koenig, so certainly Mr. Benefield's got himself more than a pit stop over this part of the field here, and these guys are 5th, 6th and 7th with Carroll, Jansen and Koenig. Also got someone dropping down the field a bit there. Is it Brett Wilson? I think it might be. Just have to have a look. No, I'm not sure. I think Wilson might have just had a half spin there.
A couple of cars are in the pits. Sean Evans and I think there was someone else just left the pits, just then Sean Watts.
Sean Watts has just left the pits.
Gaines is in the pits as well. So unless that's a compulsory pit stop for the race, as Vignoli spins coming through the first corner.
Yeah, a lot of drive errors today, and I think this is something that might need to be looked at in regards to qualification for these races. Like we said, Daniel Benefit, this is all he races, is the F1s. But he's up against guys who don't race these cars at all, except for one Sunday every 4 or 5 weeks type thing. So it does detract a little bit in regards to these guys making mistakes. Don't get me wrong, fantastic to see him out here. Great to see the participation, it really is. However, there might need to be a compulsory amount of time in the car before you can actually qualify for a race. That's up to the organisers, but
yeah,
there certainly seem to be a few guys caught out in the car tonight.
Well, maybe if we put in 107% for F1 and work in F1 and get the slower cars out of the faster cars way, I don't know. I don't think the series needs it because participation is good, but we'll see. It's all up to the organisers to see how they want to run it and whether they want to make it more for the people who run the car all the time like Daniel Benefield, or just for the casual, for people just to come in and have a play.
Anthony Koenig has made that move on Steve Jansen as well, so Kernich now up into 6th place, just outside of the top 5. So far your top 5, Daniel Benefield.
Jansen's around, sorry to interrupt.
No,
he has hit the wall at Degnar Curve 1.
And he's going to be clearing that, is he?
Yeah.
Yeah, so not sure if there's much damage there.
He did hit the wall on the front right suspension, so that wouldn't have helped that wheel at all. Most surely have a steering damage. So the Williams Art car, as we're going to call it, is going to have some damage, and maybe we'll have to come in and pit for repairs.
Well, it more looks like a Picasso now than a Van Gogh, doesn't it? So it's yeah, he's going to need to pit there. It's just that damage, and you drive these cars. Just that bit of damage there to the front wing. How important is the downforce of the front wing here, and how much does it affect the car?
Oh, the downforce is huge at anywhere, especially with the F1 car, especially coming through 130R where Jensen's coming up to now. It makes a massive difference. You are understeer straight off the track, and it depends on how much the wing's damaged, but wing damage and a little bit of wing damage can hurt, especially in real F1 like they see when they just knock off a bit of the right front. They have to come in and pit as Jensen comes into pit, so damage is too much. Come in, get it fit, come back out.
That's a real shame for Jansen too, because he was doing a pretty good job there, keeping it nice and clean. Just had that little mistake there, and obviously that's cost him. So he'll certainly go down in the order now, and hopefully he'll get I'm not sure if he's used his fast toe yet, whether he's even pitted or not yet. So hopefully we'll shortly see where he's going to be at with this.
Yeah.
So taking tyres. He's been there a while. Take a little bit of splash of fuel, but no, he's back out there. So that's a brand new car for him. So he hadn't used his fast repair. So good to keep that under his belt there. As what positions he down to? Sean Evans has certainly made an improvement. So probably about 12th position.
Yeah. Well, I know his Kernich is closed right in on the back of Monte Carlo again. So they have restarted this battle that it looks like they've had ever since this last restart. Kernich gained at least a second and a half last time around, so he's on the money.
Yeah, but the big thing I noticed there is look who's now behind them. Aaron Lee is now behind them, so whether he pitted or not, or whether he's made a mistake, we have to have a look at that. So certain gains there as Aaron Lee doesn't need to come in now, so he pitted last lap.
Baker's in the pits as well. Baker is pitting now, so cars are coming in for pit stop. So maybe we'll see Benefield pit, but he has a big lead. He should be able to come in and out without much of an issue, which I think he has pitted just a lap before. Looking at the time, I don't think that's 30-second gap now.
Yeah, not a lot of pressure there, is there, for Benefield at the front now, so certainly has a significant advantage here. But let's just see here the difference of Aaron Lee now that he's taken tyres compared to Anthony Kernich and Marty Carroll. Now, all three of these guys have pitted on occasion. Marty pitted very early under the first safety car. Kernich pitted under the second safety car. And as we saw, Aaron Lee just pitted then under the race, under the green flag, which is probably a bit unusual, but interesting to see what kind of advantage those tyres can give you.
Yeah, well, Benefield's pitted, so I just had a look back, and Benefield has pitted, so he pitted last time by, and Joshua Anderson pitted under that safety car, and he is not too far away from Benefield now. I don't know whether he can keep the pace up as Benefield has to keep up with him, but it'll be good to see how he goes, and hopefully he can close that gap. It might put some pressure on Benefield.
So Aaron Lee's having a look at 130R with Anthony Kernich, and he's done a great job there. Very forceful driving, but certainly clean, no accusations either from there. So Lee through on Kernich, those tyres made an awesome difference there. So as they exit the Casino Triangle, these guys from the end of lap 19 bringing into lap 20 now. So this is really where the battles is, with Aaron Lee chasing up to Marty Carroll in that STC Motorsports car, who's got himself up into third place, incredibly considering the start that he had. Up into third, he'll be very, very happy with that result as it is at the moment, but he might need to consider another stop.
Yeah, I don't know about Marty Carroll with that. We do have only 9.5 minutes to go, or 8.5 minutes to go, so he may be able to make it without having to stop again. It's just going to depend on when we know he stopped early for the damage, and whether that was enough just to put a little bit of splash and fuel, and he saved a couple in the caution. Yeah,
well, they started off with 48 litres starting, but geez, look at the gains at Aaron Lee.
One in front of Damien Smith. Oh, it was close for Marty Carroll. Bet we didn't like to see that, but it's all good.
Yeah, but Smith did the best he could do there.
Yeah.
He made his intentions known pretty quickly as to where he was going to be, but Aaron Lee's so much quicker than that STC car in front of him at the moment, and expectation is that he'll have this done. If not the 130R, then certainly the Casino Triangle. Yeah,
we have race control, just told me Sean Watts has got a penalty for lap 13 incident. And Scott Goodman also has a post-race penalty from lap 10.
Yeah, Scotty's had a bit of a shocker there, no doubt about that. Just behind, Anthony Kernich has tried to cash in on that positional change there with Marty Carroll and Aaron Lee. Big dive there under brakes there, not quite getting that to stick. But Kernich now in a really good position to attack.
Here he goes into turn 1. He had a look, he thought about it, but didn't think, thought better of it. As he sticks in behind as we come through the S-curves. Not a lot of passing opportunity through here, we'll just have to sit back and wait.
Well, how do you take the S-curves? And I'll actually get you to talk through a lap with us next lap, but you could talk to 5 different drivers and they'll tell you 5 different lines to get through the S-curves. What about yourself? Do you try and run the apexes? Do you try and stay in the middle? What's your plan of attack there for the S-curves?
Well, you try and make it flow so that you can hit the apex of the next corner, because if you run, you try and run wide on exit on one of the corners, and you stuff up your entry to the next corner. So you want to sort of run, you want to get apex, run the middle of the track so that you have enough angle to turn in and hit the apex of the next corner. So it's a very difficult section of the track, but yeah, a lot of people run so many different lines, brake differently, so it all just depends on the driver and how they like to take it.
Yeah, well, Aaron Lee's really cleared away from these two, but this is where the battle is. This is for 4th and 5th with Anthony Kernich and with Marty Carroll. Both guys have recovered fairly well from incidents early on. Not sure Kernich is going to be able to get that job done there. Certainly not going to be able to stick there as they go to Casino Triangle. Look at the late braking. No, it's not necessary. So we're going to jump on board the car here with Anthony Kernich. Now, guest commentator Jake Blackall, 10th in this championship, going to talk us around a lap here of Suzuka.
Yep, so here we go down the front straight as he gets the draft Kernich on Carroll. We may even have a look as we come into turn 1, the first curve. Had a look, thought better of it as he drops in behind. Double apex right-hander here. Back up through the gearbox, short shift it so that you don't get the wheel spin. Now start of the S-curves, you want to run it through there, through 3, 4, up into 5, down into 6. You want to make sure you try and close the exit off so you can have a nice run. Short shift again. Run up through the Dunlop curve, long sweeping left-hander, car can get away from you there, then brake here for the first of the Degners, then a second one as you come under the bridge, still applying pressure to Carroll in front. We're coming into the hairpin, good part of the track, slowest corner of the track, drop it right down to 70 k's per hour. Want to get the grip out of here, coming through turn 12, the long sweeping right-hander. Aero can be a bit of a trouble behind another car with a push. As we come into spoon curve, thought better of it, thought having a go at Carroll there. Sit behind another double apex left here as we wants to get a nice exit on the straight, heading up towards 130R. Sitting in the draft he is of Carroll. May have a go here, he's got the run. Thought better of it again as we head into 130R. You want to try and run that corner as flat as possible. Coming into the Casino Triangle, last part of the track, turn 16 and 17. Tight corners on the track. Get the power down early so you can get the run on the straight as you come through the final corner of turn 18, and that is a lap of the 5.8 kilometre Suzuka circuit.
Yeah, the 33.475 there for Kernich. Marty Carroll in front of him, not sure how aggressive he's going to want to be blocking here. We talked about it earlier. Second in the championship, at the moment he'll be coming second relatively. He's not holding second until he crosses the finish line, but I don't see him wanting to fight that hard just to make sure that he maintains that position. Certainly doesn't want to be dropping down the order, tripping over an exit. Now we're at lap 23. We don't have a lot of time left. It's supposed to be a 28 lap race. We're not going to get there.
No, we're not going to get there. We have, I think it's 3.5 minutes remaining as there's dust in front of these two, but I don't think we'll get the time to the distance of 28 laps. Maybe a couple more laps in the books and we'll be done.
Yeah, and the battle now is really heated up with Josh Anderson. I think that dust was picked up by Anderson there on the exit of the second Degners there. So it's just certainly tightened up Aaron Lee. We've seen his pace of 31.4 last lap. Josh Anderson, no time recorded, probably had an off track, and his fastest lap was actually a 32.6, but I think Aaron Lee's going to get this done real quick.
Yep, here he goes. He's having a look down into 130R on Josh Anderson. I don't think Josh will want to fight much, and he hasn't. He's giving him the spot and may have some damage. He may have another look down. Josh Anderson fighting back in the casino triangle. He wants this. He did it well. He got the move done nice and clean. Aaron C. Lee now will have the run going down into turn 1.
Just trying to see whether Anderson's got some damage to the front right of his wing. You can tell pretty plain livery, just a splash of red on my screen anyway. But again, another move by Aaron Lee, and you look at Marty Carroll, who's
wants a part of it as
deep
well.
into turn 1. So all of a sudden this race is just lit up. 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th. Got Koenig in 5th. Carroll, who's very, very racy here behind Anderson. I'm thinking Anderson's carrying a bit of damage or fuel saving, don't know, but certainly does seem to be struggling through this part of the track into the S's, and Marty Carroll can dance around him here, and he has.
Yep, he got it in the first part of the Degners, got the job done. Now Koenig will want to be looking to get this done as soon as possible as well, because he doesn't want to let Carroll go, and he's going to get it done before the hairpin. So Anderson, oh, has he? Yep, Anderson's dropped in behind, so Anderson must have some damage. He's dropped from 2nd to, and I think he has just dropped out, unless he come back.
And he tends to do this a bit, Josh. He does drop in and out, and there he is back again. But he's also got, who's that behind? Adam Uchi, so Uchi's a lap down on him, and even he's putting some pressure on. So that dust that we saw kicked up at the exit of 2nd Degners before the hairpin, I believe it was Anderson, and whatever that was has caused some damage. I'm not sure where that damage is, whether it's the front wing or the rear wing even.
It must be front wing, because the way he has no downforce going into the corners and he's like backing out of it. So I'd say that's where the damage is, and it's not helping him at all.
Well, so what that's done is a bit of a shuffle in the pack there. Aaron Lee, a fantastic drive through the pack up into 2nd place. Marty Carroll back up into 3rd place. And Josh Anderson saying he's got some bad damage. So, and Anthony Koenig, who started 2nd on the grid, now in 4th place. But it's a pretty good race here, and these guys have played pretty smart so far and stayed pretty keen. But we're running out of laps and expecting that the white flag will come out very soon for our leader, Daniel Benefield.
Yeah, well, you have right now 30 seconds remaining of this race, so will we go time certain finish? I don't know whether it's time certain plus 1 lap, I'm unsure about that, but at the moment Benefield has got a commanding lead, 27 seconds in front of Aaron C. Lee in 2nd.
Yeah, so the Formula 1, the Australian Grand Prix series of the Formula 1 is coming to an end here, and Daniel Benefield, well, like I said, he has been the dominant driver in this series. I haven't seen the white flag come out at all yet. So yeah, the white flag's out now. So lap 26. So we've lost a couple of laps due to that safety car. But Daniel Benefield, let's face it, like we said, he's the dominant driver here in the Formula 1 series. Certainly today, Dean O'Brien winning race 2 in fantastic fashion for himself. So shame that Dean isn't here tonight. It would have been awesome if the numbers were a bit stronger today, but obviously people have got some heavy commitments this time of year. But the concept's going to work. I'm very confident that the organisers do a good job, stewards do a great job, and hopefully they'll be encouraged by what they've seen and they'll stick with it.
Yeah, it's been a good start, good feel of series, and it'll work next season. It'll be good to see some people fighting with Benefield when we get a full field, but at the moment this battle for 2nd, it's still going on, and I don't think it's going to end anytime soon until they cross that line.
Yeah, well that's where the race is, isn't it? And so much a bit of excitement here, because these are 3 good drivers, Lee, Carroll and Koenig, and I can guarantee you they're having more fun than anyone else on the track at the moment, because this is real exciting racing here on what is the last lap. Yeah,
Lee and Carroll were fighting a bit before. A little bit of a mistake there by Carroll. Koenig is thinking about it.
Hang on, what's happened here? Is he got a shortcut or is he out of fuel?
I think he's run out of fuel. I think he has run out of fuel.
I'm just going to jump on board. No, he hasn't. I think he's had a shortcut.
Nah, he's out of fuel.
He's out of fuel.
He's trying to get it finished.
Anyway, we need to go back up the front, and we might have already missed it.
Benefield taking the win.
In the meantime, he's had a win. Well done to him. Sorry, but the race here Aaron Lee's going to be coming in second place here as he just enters the casino triangle for the last time. Anthony Kirch's done a really good job in third place here, just that last bit of drama there. So well done to Aaron Lee in second place. He'll be ecstatic with that.
Yeah.
And from third on the grid, and Anthony Kirch from second on the grid. But the drama is here with Josh Anderson across the line. Marty Carroll is going to find himself across the line
in fifth.
Fifth, wow.
Just got fifth in front of Jack Packer.
I'm thinking that would be good enough for Marty to pick up second in the championship. So yeah, good job for him.
Yeah, that should see Marty finish second in the championship after a couple of solid performances there by Marty. So it was a good result, and fortunate for the car to run out of fuel on the finish line as the rest of the field comes across the line now.
So just talk us through the results there, Jake, and yeah, a good little race there for second through to fifth, and you know, a bit of safety car intervention. Didn't get the full 28 laps in, but pretty good race all around.
Yeah, still a strong race as we've seen Daniel Benefield coming out on top of the final round at Suzuka and taking the championship for the Australian Grand Prix Series. Lee and Koenig round out the podium second and third. Anderson coming home in fourth. Marty Carroll fifth after running out of fuel halfway around the lap and trying to limp it home just in front of Jack Baker. Sean Evans in seventh. Steve Jansen in eighth. Brett Hendon ninth. Brett Wilson in 10th, and rounding out the cars who finished on the lead lap. A lot of cars had some trouble and not on the pace, so Gaines in 11th, Downs 12th. Utri and Bear, who had some pace at the start of the race, lucky to see him down in 14th. Smith 15th. Hegler, who was running up front as well but made an error, down in 16th. Houston 17th. Bignoli 18th. Watts 19th. Agostoni 20th. Keeney 21st, and Scott Goodman 22nd, rounding out the field of 22 cars.
Yeah, so an interesting race. We'll probably, if it's all right, Bernie, with other commitments, we'll keep the interviews very, very short. Apologies to all. So we might get cracking here. We've got Marty Carroll, who's going to be joining us here live on Redback Racing TV's coverage of what is round 3 of the Australian GP series, the Formula 1 series here at Suzuka. Marty Carroll, 5th place by the skinny chinny chin chin. How are you, old fella? Ran out of fuel there, it looks like.
Yeah, unfortunately my apologies to Scott Gooding and anyone else who got caught up with me stalling it on the grid. I got the RPM up and it wouldn't get into gear in time, and I'm a late gridder, so it sort of caused a bit of carnage there early, and it looked like there was a bit of an accident up front, so sort of early safety car, went in early, was able to, didn't have too much damage, was able to use the fast repair, put some fuel in it, and, you know, miscalculated by half a lap, unfortunately. But, you know, and then I had a crazy restart, and then threw it away in turn 2. I was just off the track. I'm like, back to 12th, and, you know, and just everyone was just falling off the track in front of me. And no, I had a good battle there with Anthony Koenig and Aaron at the end. I think he was fuel saving. He might have had some contact with Joshy there. Unfortunate for those guys, but yeah, they come back to us, and all I was doing was just pushing for that P2, and unfortunately that took me away from my fuel strategy, so maybe burn a little bit. So I ended up finishing 5th. Still stoked with that, and you know, thanks to RRTV and you guys for a great call.
Yeah, 32.5, your fastest lap on lap 19. The safety car intervention, how much does that interfere? Breaks your momentum, or is it something that you cherish and go, yep, I'll take that every day of the week just to get settled into this car a bit more?
Yeah, well, I'm a dual duty driver within our SDC squad, so I'm used to safety cars with our oval division. So, you know, I was able to use that tactic to actually get a good jump there on that last restart, and I think I went from 9th to 4th by turn 1. You know, so I sort of had a bit of an advantage there. So for me personally, it was okay. You know, I'm used to being able to switch off and then switch back on, and that's what you got to do under safety cars.
And just before this race, mate, I know you have heavy commitments elsewhere and moving house as well, etc. How many laps did you put into practice here this week?
I did 18 laps in pre-qual. I was late for qualifying last night, so I only got one run, so I only got 3 laps, and then I didn't even get a lap in warm-up because I was late to warm up. It was already at the driver's briefing, so yeah, not many. 21, I think.
So yeah, not a lot of laps, but mate, like I said, we'll keep. Actually, it's already gone 5:30, so I'm a bit behind my personal schedule here. But mate, yeah, good job, second in the championship, I would imagine. So.
Oh really?
I'm thinking so.
We're thinking, yeah.
Dean O'Brien wasn't here. Anthony Manzarella wasn't here.
Oh, you beauty.
Yeah, so well, good to pass on some old good news there, old fella.
Yeah, no, thanks very much. Well, yeah, congratulations to Daniel. Obviously, he was the favourite to take it out, and he's been pretty dominant all series. So, to come runner-up to him and be the best for the rest, so to speak. Not too bad for an old part-time hack in the old F1 car. I do enjoy the racing. I hope we put on a good show, and the guys out there. There's there are a lot of them are on my sort of boat. They don't run this car full time, so there's a few. With open wheel racing, you got to drive them a bit differently. But a few of the guys have still got the old tin top mentality. When it comes to overtaking and getting into braking zones and stuff like that. But I think in time, the more people get into it and having something in the Australasian time zone for us to run. In time-friendly zone, it'll only get better from there,
Yeah, I agree, mate. Well, good job tonight, mate, and congratulations on what I believe will be second in the championship. So, look forward to see yourself and hopefully more of the STC Motorsports guys in this series upon its resumption. Not sure the starting date yet, but upon it being resumed, mate, no doubt to yourself and hopefully a couple of other guys will jump in as well.
Yeah, definitely. I've got a little European open wheel division there, but I have just signed AJ Bear as well earlier this season, actually. So he's just been on probation, so he's been running with me, and we've been sharing a lot of technical data, and I've been helping him run in the official series because he runs this car a bit more permanently than I do. So he'll be in some STC colours next season and stuff. So it'll be nice to have 2 cars out there.
Yeah, it will be. So STC continue to improve and continue to expand. So good job, Marty Carroll, coming 5th position in today's race. So well done to him for 2nd place overall. We're kind of really running out of time here. We've got the race winner of Suzuka, Daniel Benefield, with us for the Apex Racing Academy. Daniel, welcome to Redback Racing TV's coverage here at round 3 at Suzuka. Tell us a bit about your race.
Pretty quiet. I sort of made a strategy call under that second safety car to stay out, and I knew Kernich was going to do whatever I didn't do, so it wasn't surprising to see him come in. And then after that restart, it was just qualifying lap after qualifying lap once the tyres came up to temp. To make sure that I rejoined in the lead and only had about 3 seconds to spare over the Josh, so it was tight, but pretty much from there it was just drive it to the finish.
And the Apex Racing team, I know Alex Simpson puts a lot of work into these setups and things like that, and no doubt you'd want to say a good thing for him, the work that he does in the background.
Oh yeah, I mean, not only with the setups he does for AGPS, but all the help that he gives us in the academy from the UK. I know we've got a pretty big week at Spa this week for the IGPS, and they've got WCS at Spa next week, so there's a lot of work going into setups there at the moment. Just can't believe it, really. It's a bit surreal what's the last 10 minutes or so.
Yeah, well, it's a good warm-up series, isn't it, for next year, like just having the short 3-race season here, just to more for the, like we said during the race coverage, just for the admin to get the real thing going next season or next year. So what type of things would you like to see different, and what type of things do they do well, and what type of things would you see improved?
I mean, I personally would prefer open setups, but obviously I have a lot more experience in the car compared to other people. Other than that, maybe not as many safety cars. Maybe longer races as well. Obviously, bit more strategy would be good, but longer races would be nice. Almost like probably iGPS links around 60-70% race distance rather than the 50. But other than that, it was good. The qualifying format's really good. I liked that a lot yesterday. Sort of puts everyone under a bit of pressure again, even though we had pre-qual. So yeah, other than that, it's a brilliant series.
Really good. So, well, hopefully we'll see. I didn't see Scotty Newton driving tonight, unfortunately. So, hopefully the Apex team will nominate for the event next season, and hopefully might have Scotty Newton on board as well, because I know he does a lot of F1 laps. And just asked Marty Carroll before how many laps he had done to practice for tonight. How many laps had you? Because you are the prime F1 driver in the field tonight, there's no doubt about that. How many laps would have you practiced here this week for this race?
I know I did 80 laps in pre-qual, plus probably about 50 in practice. I didn't do any private practice, so I'd say 135, 140 laps.
Yeah, so just over 100 more laps than Marty Carrot. That's significant. Well, good job, Dan, for tonight and for the series win, mate, and hopefully onwards to next season with when the big prize kicks off, and we hopefully with a bit of support again from Alex Simpson and the boys at Apex Racing there, will make this series continue to grow.
Yeah, well...
Oh, I think we've lost him there. Not sure what's happened there, so... Not sure what's happened there. We've got... no, I think he's just left. Who have we got there? No, he's gone as well, so... We just had Josh Burden from the Race Stewards there. Just going to have a quick interview him, but obviously some technical issue there with Dan Benefield. Not sure what happened there, but Jake, good job tonight, mate. Welcome to broadcasting. Hopefully we'll get a chance to see you in the car a lot, but I thought you did an outstanding job tonight.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks guys. It was good to be here. First time, and thanks to Bernie for all the help that he does at RRTV, especially from a driver's point of view. I know how hard it is from you guys to do this especially just on the tight notice and the long races that you have to put up with, especially for the 4-hour races that take forever to do. So can't thank you guys enough, and especially Bernie for all the help that he does behind the scenes.
Yeah, we've got to keep talking highly of Bernie, because he puts a lot of time and effort. We do actually, before we go, we do have one of the race stewards here, Matty Wilkins. Welcome to the broadcast for you, mate. Hopefully you're everything's working TeamSpeak wise, mate. On the race steward's behalf, mate, and also as one of the organisers, what have we got to look forward to in the next week? Any penalties coming at all?
Not sure how my internet is at the moment, but hopefully good. No, I'll have a look into Scott Goodman's incident on the restart. We'll decide there a little bit later with that one. Other than that, there's no post-race penalties. I'm just trying to work out the final championship points here, so if you bear with me for a minute, I might be able to get them to you.
Yeah, well, we're obviously missed as to who the winner of the championship is, and I'm probably thinking that Marty Carroll's done enough work tonight, even without a fuel in his tank, to get up second in the championship. So pretty confident with the first two and third. Well, we can throw a bunch of M&Ms in the air and see what comes down.
Yeah, unfortunately that's not going to work for me, so we'll have to have a look at the forum later on to see the final positions there. But just want to say a quick thank you obviously to you guys for broadcasting a day and committing your time into my series to make it run just that little bit smoother, and thanks to Bernie for doing the amazing camera work that he always does in the broadcast, and hopefully that next year will be bigger and better than ever. And I have to make a special mention to Scott Connors, because I'm going to get some free Bathurst tickets now. Yes!
Yeah, we thank yourself and Scotty as well. Scotty's got commitments in Sydney today, but what are we looking forward to next season or next year, first of all, Matty? Where are we looking there?
Big things for next year will be the new car, the new Honda coming into iRacing, be coming at the end of the year, so that hopefully gives people enough time to get used to the car before our series starts up early next year. I'm looking at hopefully a January, February start, but again that's to be announced. but that's what I'd like it to start at this stage. Race lengths, maybe, like Daniel said, we could look at a 60%, not much more, but that would be good. Also, depending on how timing goes with other series, maybe a little bit later in the day to night, because then we can pick up some international guys that I'm sure are watching the FW31 forums pretty closely and seeing how much this series is built up, and I'm sure they would like to get involved as well. But again, that all depends on timing with other series as well. So at this stage, I think we've got the qualifying format all set. We've got our no escape rule in there. That's all working great. So fingers crossed that we just keep building the series up and it goes well into next year.
Yeah, well, on behalf of all those viewers out there and the competitors as well, who have been able to, get the most out of a car that let's face it, it's not that heavily a used car in the Australian iRacing community, but with the work that yourself and Scotty Connors and also with Bernie here at Redback Racing TV have done, it's really introduced the car to a lot of guys for the first time, and I think you'd be pretty happy with the numbers.
Yeah, very happy with the qualifying numbers. Just wouldn't it be great if all the qualifiers would turn up to a race, but people have commitments and that's just life in general. But the qualifying numbers, I was astounded on the first at Montreal for round one, and it hasn't really ever dipped. So great to see that just our 3-round little championships got a lot of people excited, and hopefully our 16 to 20 round championship next year is going to be just getting people going crazy.
Well, mate, good job. That's probably the last we see of the Williams FW31, I'd imagine, probably moving on to the McLaren next season, or sorry, next year, which will bring its own challenges. But mate, like I said, just on behalf of everybody here, mate, good job. It's hard to organise a championship, and now that it's all done, run on one, mate, you should be pretty proud of your effort. So, yep, well done.
Thanks, guys.
Matty Wilkins there, Ray Stewart, Bernie, Jake. I think that would be about it for us. Short series, 3-race series, but as Matty just said, they're moving on to bigger and better things. Looking for a January, maybe February start for next year, so looking forward to that.
Yeah, can't wait. Hopefully I can be amongst it, and we'll see how we go from then. But it's looking like it'll shape up to be a good season, and new car, or whoever knows, maybe we can see some more people change Benefield next season.
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be more with equipment. But Bernie, I think that would be it. So SEK Queensland GT3 Championship week starting in pretty much actually exactly an hour from now. So long day for Bernie, so give him a chance to step back and have a bit of a stretch. And for all those competing in that race tonight or viewing, be sure to join us here on Redback Racing TV for coverage of what continues to be a strong series. And yeah, that's it from us. So thanks to Bernie, thanks yourself, Jake, and I'm Brett O'Brien. That's Jake Blakewell. That was round 3 of the Australian Formula 1.